Welcome back to the 2.5 LLCs podcast. My name is Dre. Shout out to we have merch by the way. If you didn't know, you all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, on other podcasts, rate us 5 stars on Apple. Give us a rating. If you want to donate to the Cash App. All links will be in the description. But we appreciate you all being a part of this experience. This is part 3 of episode 50. Because after this, we're gonna take a 1 week break. We technically almost took one last week, but we did drop an episode, just didn't promote it well. However, we are growing the show. We're getting better. We're doing this consistently, and we have to thank you all for tuning in. But saying that, we also need to improve and get the show better. So, in your opinion, Zoe, what do you think can make the show better before we get into our topics today?
There's always a lot of things that kind of hold conversation well. So I guess, talking more about girls and stuff like that, and giving sports a good go. But other than that, I don't know. I think the podcast is pretty good. It's gotten better a lot already. So.
All right, fair enough. With that being said, we're going to get into our lucrative tips of the day. Don't be afraid to explore your city, aka the world. Also the world. The more you know, the farther you'll go. Sometimes you have to relax. Sometimes you have to go when you have no idea what's happening. Don't be scared of the stuff that can't kill you. Get some air. Go outside. The great study their craft. The great study their craft. You should too. Don't let someone tell you you can't do something because it's something they don't understand. Never let a relationship hold you back. Lucrative tips of the day. 2.5 LLCs podcast. You want to speak on any of those before we get into the show?
No. Yeah.
Well, I do.
Okay.
One thing I want to talk about real quick is the great study their craft, so you should too. But the main one I want to get to is don't let someone you can't do something because they don't understand. Because recently I just went to the Apex Legends Championship at the PNC Arena. And you remember when we were younger and our parents would say, if this happened to y'all as well, you ain't gonna never make no money off them damn games. Turn them off and go to sleep. You gotta get ready for school tomorrow. You remember that?
Yeah.
And literally, I paid about $80 for my ticket and $20 for parking. So I paid pretty much about $100 to get into this event to watch to watch different teams play video games for a prize of first place. The total pot was about 2.5 million. First place, 500,000, I believe. Second place was 250,000 and broke down so on and so on after that. But they are making money doing something A, they enjoy, so B, something they're great at, and C, they were doing it as a team. Playing a video game that all of us can sit in our house and do. But they were just that good at it and that dedicated to it.
Mm-hmm.
And just because some people that are great at games now probably missed out on a bag because their parents told them you're never going to make money off of that. And there's a bunch of other people in careers that probably said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, never let somebody tell you, even your people that love you, even your parents, that you can't do something because they don't understand the times that they're living in.
Right.
And that's going to develop after the fact.
Damn. I do want to kind of talk about that because every generation, there's what I call generational latency. It's always one generation behind. So, because they are going to do what their parents taught them. So, and it was right. It might have been right at the time, but if you continue to, teach those things, they're not going to be valid anymore. after a certain period of time. So honestly, you have this hard task, but you have to look at the surface of the environment. You can't judge based off what you grew up on, although there are some things that should carry over, and it's hard to know which ones, but just try to learn the landscape for not for yourself, but just for your kids, just so you can so that their future is, I guess they can have a brighter, wider future, I guess.
I'll say this as well. Don't patronize your youth because it was something you couldn't experience or you just don't know. Because it's one thing to say, hey, you shouldn't do that because of a reason. Don't just say, oh, it's you're going to be late for school tomorrow. I understand the purpose of it. But if it's something they really love to do and they have a future in it, possibly, that you may not be able to see, they're telling you, maybe just lend an ear to them. Maybe try to get a little bit of understanding of why they're doing what they're doing. And if you don't like it after that, then it's whatever. That's your loss. But in my
Mm.
opinion, just lend a ear. Try to understand. Hey, this may can go somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
And also going back to the point of the great study their craft, you should too. I've been watching and listening to a lot of podcasts recently. And one thing
Mm.
I've heard in common is every great has studied the people before them. And obviously still in the time that they're in now, but they have everyone that studied and took something from the people that came before them in their field. No
Mm.
matter what it is, basketball, music, gaming, web development, graphic design, everyone has studied what has came before them. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not an accident that they're great at what they do.
Yeah.
Because everything is a remix of something from the past anyway. Just look at music. Every era is sampling the past 10 years of music. For the most part. If not 10 years, it'll be longer than that. But most commonly, it'll be just the last 10 years of music.
Mm. Yeah.
In every era, and probably other areas, doing the same thing for video games, science, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
writing, so on and so forth. Especially movies and TV shows. Every era is studying the part before them and taking something from the part before them. So saying that you all, whatever you do, really study the craft that you're in. Don't just do it and say I'm practicing, I'm getting good at it. Study it, because that's how you really get better. You
Mm.
study and know what the greats done before you, and now you know what to do to become great. Just do that.
You know, we argue about that at the office a lot because there's this thing we always say like, don't reinvent the wheel. Because the only way you can really grow is just set up shop where the like the leaders of the industries left off. You know, you have to start there now. You can't. You don't want to reinvent the wheel and say I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm gonna just do it again over from the like. No, you have to use library like the to all the shit you have from the past. You have to stand on that. Otherwise, you just won't grow. You're gonna stay in the same spot. But a lot of people are used to, I guess. Like, this is more about generational latency, but they're just used to doing it one way. So it's like I'm gonna keep doing it this way. Well, then time passes, and someone invents a way to do it 10 times faster, but yet you still want to use this old way. Like the new way's faster. Like we're never gonna grow if we keep on doing the same shit. Like
Yeah, for sure.
artists artists kind of the same way too because you can study like the music of I guess the past 10, but and they're always gonna have influence in your music, but at the same time, if you keep on redoing what they did, the genre is not going to get better.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. what I heard something on the live stream recently that listening intently to music while you're making production will make it easier. Knowing how to put what sounds together, what sounds. If you listen, have a collection of music in your wealth of knowledge in your bag per se,
Mm,
wealth of genres, sounds, eras, and you know the greats and what they've done, and you put your little reverse engineering on it to make it into what you do, it'll make what you do a lot easier because you'll know what sounds to put together, what
yeah,
sounds good, what sounds bad. Obviously, you have to learn the process, but you have the wealth of knowledge as far as listening to older music, older samples. You'll know what samples to pick, how this sounds good, or maybe put this bell with this guitar, or this guitar with this lead and this bass. And knowing what to pick and knowing what to put in each production will make what you do better because you have what most people that's just doing this haven't is
mm,
the wealth of knowledge of the past and knowing what is great and what to do with each what they've done, and you know how to remix it and do it what you do with a twist on it.
yeah, 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 yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's always got to be. It's always learn the fundamentals because obviously we can't. You have to learn from the past. You can't. We can't. We won't have time machines yet to learn from the future. So everything we do learn has already happened. Like we take reference material, and yeah, you're right. It does connect that neural network. So it's it could be just conversation too. Just like now you have more connections in your brain when you think of words or when you think of sounds. You just have a lot of reference material, I guess. And that just take that, but also like you said, you have to put your own spin on it. Otherwise, you're reinventing the wheel. You're just doing something someone already did. Like you know that album what album? It was Anderson Paak and
Bruno Mars, Silk Sonic, right?
yeah, it
Came and went.
because it's they already did that before. You're reinventing the wheel. They've already done that music before.
One part on that, I think they waited too long to drop the album too, though. Because that first track had all that momentum, and then I believe they just waited a little too long to drop it, and it just kind of just came and went.
Mm. So you think it was that, other than the fact that this?
A combination of the two.
Okay.
Because I all the way understand what you're saying. It sounded great. It was a as the cool kids say a vibe, but
Mm.
so Bruno Mars dropped every 4, 5, 6 years. Anderson Paak, he's cool, but and that record was great. The video was great, but it wasn't probably remixed enough.
Yeah.
So I also understand that for sure.
And there's gonna be growing pains with it. So I mean, hey, who's to say was because if it's music, if someone likes it, then you won, right? And who's to say if you build and you actually get to that next level to people, it's the same ratio of people that's gonna like it and hate it. Probably so, but just in general, it's better to learn what you can from the past, but use it as a black box and just start there. Don't like reproduce. I don't know. You can reproduce it to learn and then just put your own spin on it, but we gotta stop. You know, maybe it's more just in technology. We have to stop trying to reinvent the wheel. It's like we're gonna be
Well,
held back.
I definitely know what you're understanding. What I understand what you're saying because in the past handful of years in gaming, I'm tiptoe in and out of there. It seemed like everybody's making the same damn game for the past 5 years. Ever since the PS4 and the Xbox of that generation dropped, ever since that era ended,
Hmm.
it seemed like they're literally just making the same games over and over again for some reason, or remixing or and creating sequels and continuing series that nobody care about, and
Yeah.
and making them weird. it just seemed like they really are just doing the same thing over and nobody's making anything new. And I think one reason is once people in the PS4 era, because I don't remember the name of the Xbox, my bad, whatever. I'm not a real gamer. Shut up. I think in that era, when games like No Man's Sky came out and it flopped, I think
Yeah,
people are scared to take chances because of games like that. And Destiny 1, when it dropped, and that kind of had a bit of a fall off. And it's another game I'm trying to reference. It's like a game in Detroit, the war. Oh, what's I remember the name of that game? Dang, I wish. But that one flopped a little bit too.
mm,
So I think at this point, even in music, same thing. People are scared to take chances because it's going to cost them
right.
when it flops. My thing is, don't make that shit flop. It's plain and simple. Don't make shit that's gonna flop. You can do something different. You can vary. Just do it well. Just
Yeah,
do it well. When Drake put out the House album and it didn't get the greatest reception because it wasn't done well. I liked it, yeah, but everybody else don't feel the same way because it wasn't done as well as he could have and has done better than in the past, which I do agree with as well. So it's not that they can't make something different. They just can't for it to flop.
yeah, yeah,
And I think that's why for the past handful of years, nobody's been taking chances to that degree because it's going to flop. But everybody's crying for something different, but then they'll shit on it once it's bad.
yeah. And YouTubers have kind of like given this rapid and exaggerated feedback. Like they give it to you fast and it's exaggerated. Like some of these games, yeah, I mean, there's always been bugs in games, man. Like it's just inevitable. But then when you get the press on it, and then you bring it to a YouTuber and he trashes it, right? That's giving rapid and very dramatic feedback. That's not helpful. Like changing those some of these things, like to change them is kind of like ruining the science behind it. It's science behind what makes you want to play certain and to do certain things. And then YouTubers are kind of like sometimes they're just saying the opposite of what science points to, and they're just trying to debunk. I don't know what they're trying to do. They're getting their views, they're getting their money, but I don't think it's good for production at all.
I,
The YouTuber shit.
yeah, I'll say that some people give the people they sponsor a little too much power. What I mean by that is they don't do their research before reaching out to the people they're trying to get to promote their game. I know just some people you have to just as a business you have to just give it to them because they're the most popular. You have to do that. It is what it is.
Yeah,
You want more eyes on the game regardless. But at the cost of people not actually playing the games and giving honest reviews and honest feedback,
right.
that's what's gonna hurt. So just my advice, if anybody to that magnitude may come across this, do research with who you're sending your stuff off to because their opinion, if they have that much notoriety, is going to hold a lot of weight, even if what they said is counter to what the game or product actually is. It's gonna hold weight and make people not even want to check it out because of what somebody else said.
Right.
I'll give you an example. Basketball wise, I've been listening to a lot of basketball podcasts and stuff lately. When Patrick Beverly said what Westbrook said about him, it killed his career for a little bit. Cause you think about how Westbrook was at that time, and he said all Patrick Beverly does is just run around. He don't really play defense, and he had like one bad game. It had people really start to think that,
Yeah.
and you never know what somebody says when they have popularity could do to somebody good and bad. Now he might have been in the contract year, maybe he was. I forget the exact situation, but he said he lost a lot. He lost a lot. He lost money, lost opportunities. And players were looking at him differently because of what he said, even though it may not have been true. So what people say that have a lot of notoriety, credibility can do a lot
Right.
to and for a company or a person in general. So research and scout who you're involving your stuff with because it could damage your reputation that bad.
Right. So now if you make movies or you're in the production business, when you put something out that could be enjoyable, like continuity has never been. Have you seen Cinema Sins?
A little bit of their stuff, yeah.
Continuity has never ruined a movie
Facts, yeah.
ever. Like the cartoons, for example, there's no continuity in cartoons. Yeah, we all watch Rick and Morty. We all watch Family Guy. We all watch that stuff.
Because everything has a deeper meaning to it once you really analyze it. But on the surface, it's just fun.
It doesn't matter what hat he was wearing in one scene
Right.
versus the others. But what I'm saying. So they and then they make it dramatic. Like, I couldn't even watch it because of this. So like, really? 90% of the population isn't like that. I don't even think they're like that. I just think was it good reviews aren't entertaining. That's what I think. I think it's more interesting for someone to say they hate a movie and here's 10,000 reasons why. I think that's more entertaining, and that's why when so now if I'm a game company and I put out a game that's pretty good, but these over dramatic ass niggas are gonna be like, man, did you see that? Look at the shoes. You can't even see creases in them. I can't play this game. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like that doesn't ruin it. There are people now. I'm not saying there's not people out there that have that level of attention to detail and they just shit like that bothers them. And to be honest, those people should be working on games. But 90% of people don't give a fuck. 90% of people know how to have fun.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, too. At the end of the day, is having fun with what you're doing. Is nothing else in between. Having fun. Once you stop having fun, you need to do something different.
Yeah.
But another thing I'll say to that is the fact that a review can do that much for you and against you is crazy. With that much power and that much weight, man.
Same thing happened to Johnny Depp. People will believe what they're told. They just will. And we had to do better about that. I mean, shit. These are the same motherfuckers that get into costumes and act act like Thanos and stand in front of a green. These why are we believing everything they say? Why are we just automatically believing these motherfuckers? Like Hollywood, it should be like common knowledge. Like Hollywood smoke and mirrors. It's been proved. It's been proven. Some of this other shit, like oh let me think of someone who's been slandered. It's a lot of them. People just been slandered for no reason, and then the press comes back and it shows he's actually a good guy. And those people have to deal with that shit because it's like one person says something and ruins it for them. It's really that's why you don't want to be famous.
Yeah. But I'll say to that with the fame thing, it comes with certain territory. But I do understand why people may not want to be noticed for what they do. I get it. I didn't get it for a while, but I saw something this past week about how much people have to adapt and change their life once they get it.
Mm.
Can't even go outside the same time anymore. You have to go Pacific time, so you have to go to the store when nobody's there. You can't just sit somewhere out by yourself. People start taking pictures of you with you. You can't have time to yourself unless it's in your home. Some people know where you live
Mm.
and live in a certain community. I get it. That made me get it. It's not that I didn't know it before, but I get why certain people may not want to do certain things because of that. Everybody isn't built. A lot of people just aren't built to handle that,
Mm.
and I understand now because it is a lot, and it can break somebody. So yeah,
You know what's crazy? That reminds me of something that happened in high school. Like I remember someone saying something about me, and I never knew. I never knew they said that. Someone was like, "Oh, he's really cocky," and then like I think after that, like people started treating me differently, and like, but no one close to me. That's like that's the giveaway. The people that are close to you aren't going to react. Like someone's gonna say, "Oh, behind my back, I'm this and I'm that," and then people started treating me differently. But like my four guys never stopped treating me differently. But anyway, that's a different thing. But we gotta stop doing that. Like, why are we believing everything niggas say? You have to go up to someone and meet them yourself. Like every time someone tells me someone's this and someone's that, I'll be like, okay, whatever. I go if we ever meet, then I'll judge what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't think for themselves, or they don't want to. That's why a lot of people just on group think. They don't have their own thoughts,
I
so
mean,
they
I think it's
just
normal. Like if someone says I'm an asshole, and the guy they're hearing it from is like their friend, I guess yeah. But I'm just like it's a PSA. Don't always find out for yourself.
yeah, that's fair. I can't be mad at that. But most people won't,
No, they won't.
and they don't care to either.
And some people can't. Like, what if I say LeBron's a bitch? They can't go and prove me this. Dude, go to LeBron. I heard you was a bitch, man. Like that, and that's why celebrities gonna get the most of it, though. But even like, what if the person can't approach us? Like, they literally can't approach us, and that's like that. That's the only thing they know about us is that someone said we're this or we're that.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
But then I guess I have to take it when someone says something positive too, right? Do
Yeah.
I? I guess I have to discourage that as well. I guess. Just meet me yourself. Wherever you hear, just meet the person yourself, and you decide what's going on. I guess reputation does mean something, but I mean, I don't know, man. I just think it's better to find out yourself.
True. But do they? Should they even care? Do they even care?
I think they should care for one reason. Life is all about network and who you choose and choose not to have around you. That that's gonna guide or like lead you because you're a product. We're all a product of our environment, whether we like it or not. Either we grew up in an environment and we hated it, and that's the reason we're great, or we grew up around people who are great. We're all a product of our environment, just the way we take it. But it's all about networks. So if you go around and say, "Oh, he's an asshole. He's a bitch. He's a this. He's a that," and that deters that person from from I guess networking with that person. I think you've done disservice to like to the person you're talking to and the other guy. Like there's nothing that serious. Like there's a lot of things that we deal with aren't serious, and I like like I think people take things very personally very quickly now.
Cause a lot of people are bitches. Yeah.
Well, we
But
don't know. We don't know, man. We just
you
because
can
I
you
think
can
this is what
see.
they're trained to do. I think the bitch has changed. I think niggas are training niggas to be bitches, but telling them that's masculine.
Niggas and bitches are training men to be bitches and making it seem like it's masculine, but it's they being bitch. Yeah.
So I think and I know or I feel like they're trying to do the masculine thing because I mean,
But all they know is being a bitch. Yeah. Yeah.
right? I mean, but so that's why I kind of give motherfuckers a break because you only know like if you were taught and grow just like as you're proud of your environment. If you're growing and taught to do something, you're gonna pretty much do it until you can figure out how and what is real. But it's tough. It's tough to break out of the matrix. I think in order to do that, you have to remove yourself from the matrix, and you're definitely not going to do that in high school, especially if you're popular.
I mean, of course not. That just comes with life. You just have to grow. You have to
Mm-hmm.
get older. You have to experience different things and be around different people to get that.
Mm.
You're not gonna. Most people aren't gonna know at 18. Hey, it'll be more lucrative to start a business, but you have to figure out something that's profitable. You have to have money from somewhere before you start a business first. You can't just jump into it. I mean, you could, but it's not the smartest to just jump into a business venture because you have a passion or you're great at it. If you don't have any income or capital coming in or already to start,
Yeah.
it's not
Okay.
going to go anywhere. Or an investor. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
have any of those, it's not going to go anywhere at least for about 5 or so years, possibly, or the first 1 or 2,
Mm-hmm.
or that first week if you're just that successful when you get everything together. It's something you have to learn over time how to get clients, how to develop your craft even more, how to manage all your time in the day so you can get everything you need to get done, how to wake up early
Mm-hmm.
and stay up early so you don't fall asleep. What foods are better for you to
Yeah.
keep you up during the day? What foods make you sleepy so you avoid those plus you don't have anything to do.
Right.
It comes with growth and it comes with aging.
Right. Yeah.
It's a mental thing. Everything in life is mental and spiritual. Everything. So you have to be in tune with yourself enough, hopefully, where you grow up around that you can carry that over to the next level you're trying to get to. Because if you don't, then you're just gonna be lost like most of the other people out there.
Right.
And you're gonna end up being a bitch. And I mean, if you want to be a bitch, that's fine. I have no issue with people being a bitch. It's just if you really don't want to be a bitch and you're trying to empower being a bitch, if you're a man or a bitch, if that's what you want to be, fine. But empowering being a bitch, that ain't cool. But I have no control over what people try to empower, don't empower. I just know I have to do what I do, so I don't end up being a bitch.
You're yeah. Beautifully said. But man, but yeah, shit is crazy. Shit, and you know what? You've been right. It's all about upbringing, man. Cause like living in like in the DMV lately, it's it's all coming together, man. Cause most of the people who work at the office have mothers and fathers. So
And before you go on, what's the average rate of income of the place you work at, of the people that you, if you could pick a number
the average, well, there's on different floors there's different averages.
in
But
the building, if you can come up with a number. I'm not saying you're
I
trying to
would say
pocket
like
watch, but
7. It would probably be like 75.
all right,
Experience,
all right, cool, yeah,
decent amount of experience.
got you.
Most
Okay,
people, but yeah, a lot of them have mothers and fathers. So we're all there. And does that mean what? Am I special because it's the reason they're there is because they had a stable household. And then people have a sense of privilege there. Like, do we look at each other as special because we're here, or is was it our was it what was built put there before them? They got them there. How what do should I really act like I'm the smartest person on earth, or I'm when I when it comes down to it, the statistic is 90% 90% of the people work there have mothers and fathers and have grown up in wealthier neighborhoods. There's no secret that has a lot to do with their mindset. And then another thing is when you get there and when you have success at a young age, a lot of those people have like the arrogance and ego that comes with, even if they're not even making the most in the office, maybe they're just one of the average like high people who achieve or high achievers or really that really just means people with a mother and father. The high achievers, they truly believe that they're that much more special they don't understand that the reason they're there is because basically because of their parents and how they grow up, how they grew up. Like, are you really allowed to say I'm this, I'm this, I did this all by myself, I didn't.
I give you that, but I'll say to add on to a point, is upbringing. What keeps them there is their mindset they develop because of their upbringing.
Yeah.
The drive to them wanting to be great and successful and keep on working and earning what they're earning beside their upbringing. That's a part of it. But what's keeping them there, obviously, they may, as some people may know somebody too.
Hmm.
That's also a big thing in corporate world, but that's everywhere. In order to get to a certain level, you got to know somebody to know somebody. That's just a fact in any field, don't matter where it is.
I think if you have a good foundation, you have a better chance, and that shows
Oh,
into statistics.
oh for sure. Oh, for sure.
And those people that have a better chance look down on people who didn't have a better chance.
That's the part that gets weird. I
That's the
get,
part I don't
yeah,
like.
yeah. That's the part that gets weird because I get why they do it. It just doesn't have to be done that way. But who could tell them they did what they did and they got to where they are? So just looking from that perspective, what makes them not being able to pick their bootstraps up, as they like to say,
Okay.
and do what they need to do to get the best situation?
I'm not saying they don't deserve to be there. I know they deserve to be there. And the part of the reason why is because they might have been able to eliminate some of the things that another person would have dealt with. So that's why I want to have a retrospective with themselves. Like, are we really? Can I look at myself as special for making it here, or should I be humble about it?
It all depends on how you look at it. You could choose whatever route you want to choose. But as the greats always say, that karma's always gonna come back to you. Whatever energy you put out is what you're gonna get back.
Mm.
You put out that arrogant, snot nose, sedity, entitled energy, you're gonna get back some entitled BS in return. If you get back level headed, understanding point of view, you will get understanding stuff in return.
Yeah.
How you treat people is how you're gonna get treated back. Because everybody's gonna have a downfall.
Hmm.
Some are going to be more and greater than others. Going back to the Westbrook thing, look at him right now from where he was. It's sad, but everybody's going to have a downfall. And what they said before when they were up, they will remember that. When people will remember that when they go down,
Hmm.
and then they gonna have a field day on them because everybody's gonna have a fall. It ain't gotta be that hard, but everybody's gonna have a little fall after they get to their point of greatness. So it's life. It happens.
I don't want anyone to fall. I don't. I don't. I
Well,
don't.
well
I
let me
hope
let
no
me
one falls. I
let me
just
let me
want.
rephrase. Decline. Everybody's gonna have a little decline.
Mm.
It's not gonna. Some people are gonna be steep. Some people are gonna be able to bounce back. But everybody's gonna have a certain decline at some point, which is natural. That's fine.
Mhm.
But how you treated people you were on top, they will
Yeah.
remember that when you have your decline. And everybody's not gonna be, oh man, I hope you get better, I hope you get back the way you was. And they be like, no, fuck you. That's why you wasn't shit. That's why you a bitch. That's why when you try to do that bullshit ass layup, you miss and you can't make it no more. That's why you went to this team. You can't fucking shoot no more.
Mm.
You get both of those. So
But you know what? I'm glad those people were there. I'm glad I learned that statistic because that inspired me to be humble about things that have happened before me. Because there's probably reasons I don't know why I got there. I'm pretty sure that I didn't take the route some of those people took. I might have had an easier route. I might have had a harder route. But I don't know. But I'm glad I saw that because it inspired me to be humble about things like like some people won't even go like there are janitors that work there. Some people won't even go in the elevators that they go in.
That's crazy.
They won't even go if it's a janitor in there. They won't go.
No, that's crazy. That's entitlement though. Entitlement right there.
It's like, oh, trash, ew. I'm like,
Once people, if this is what you end up getting into, once you get to the higher class and you start seeing these types of people, you're gonna notice that they act like that. We're in the South, so we don't see stuff like that happen, or you don't grow up like that. But when you may go to different cities or different more up north, and you're in the higher echelon of earnings, people do act that way still. It may be surprising to some of y'all, but people still do act like that.
now I didn't do this before, but once I saw how they were being treated, I give them hugs and give them coffee. Like they're we're all we're, I'm like, y'all are cool. Like I'm never gonna that when I saw that I'm like, nah.
See, you're a way nicer person than me because I'm not gonna give him a hug. I don't drink coffee. I might give him coffee, but or just a respectable, hey, how you doing? But I'm not giving random people I don't know hugs. That's just not me. That's just not me. That's
But
why.
you know not to. But if there's a janitor in the elevator, you're not going to use that as an opportunity to say no, I'm better than that person. I'm not
Oh
getting on the
yeah,
elevator.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going.
Or if they're dirty, I'm not getting on the elevator.
Cause
You're gonna
yo,
get on the elevator and get up to your floor. You can get off. You're not even gonna think about
what
it.
what depends on what kind of month you might have. You could be the janitor. Life happens that fast. Life happens that fast. You have a bad couple months, you could be the janitor.
For
You,
sure.
you can go from a suit to a jumpsuit real quick if you had a bad couple months. Or you go from a suit to a cup and a holder on the side of the street with a sign in your hand. We'll work for, you know,
Right.
light one lucrative tip of the day. I'm gonna keep saying this one. Life comes at you fast. So do your best to prepare
Mm-hmm.
or to keep where you're going because you do not know what could happen as you get older. And cherish the moments you're in because you do not know when they're going to change. I know people in 2020 were thinking they were going to have some of the best years of their life. And then what happened, happened. Same thing, probably 2021, same year, this year, 2022. You never know where life is going to take you, what's going to happen in life. So you have to do your best to just enjoy every moment that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know where you're going to be next year or tomorrow or next week. Life happens that quick. Next week, you could be from here to Vegas. Next week, you could be from the DMV to Washington, the actual state.
Mm-hmm.
DMV to LA. You never know. It happens that fast. So don't take it for granted.
For sure. And like I want to continue talking about this because it's interesting. So some of these people went to Harvard and
John Hopkins and all
yeah,
that. Mm-hmm.
and when people went to those schools, so I wouldn't expect them to be to be like to devote like time to think about what is that person's upbringing. I wouldn't.
Environment. Who are the type of people they hang around? People
Bookworms.
most likely like them.
Yeah, like the bookworms.
And that's how they act for the
Yeah,
most part.
right.
They don't know people skills because they know work skills. I know how to get this money. Fuck how I got to treat you to get this money. I'm trying to get this bread and be great at what I do. I have no problem with that mindset.
I don't either. In
It's
fact, I
just
love it. I rather people be that way.
right.
But come on, man. Like, there's certain things that you just don't have to motherfucking do. I feel like that. And I feel like some of them do it just to be a part of. Some of them do it just to be a part of the group.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are acting for sure because they
But
hate being
some
alone.
people are just that dirty.
Exactly. And if they weren't, they wouldn't be where they are. So you just gotta take that. If they're nicer, they're not there. Not saying they can't, but if they were nicer, more compassionate, they wouldn't be where they are. That's a fact.
You know what? You might be right, but I'll say this: I noticed a trend. So there's three types of people who do make it. There's ridiculously hard worker. There's the ridiculously intelligent, and then there's the people who have like
Connections.
yeah, or yeah, a little bit of everything, right? So and what I've noticed, the more intelligent don't give a fuck about anything. All they care about is the next like problem to solve. That's the only thing that intrigues them. Then motherfuckers who work extremely hard, you would think those would be the niggas that's on your side. Those niggas feel like they're under the most stress because they have to work
If you
harder.
don't work as hard as me, I don't want to talk to you.
So you got them niggas, and you got the niggas that have a little bit of everything. Those are the niggas that are resourceful as shit.
And the connections, yeah.
Yeah,
Yo, you need somebody to help you get this interest fund up. Oh, yo, look,
they
I
know
give you
how
a
to
call. I'll
use
give you
people.
that.
They know how to use people.
And they have the resources to get pretty much wherever they want, and to get other people possibly close to where they are too.
Well, they're using people on a daily basis. So think about how toxic that is.
Yes, but
Every time they talk to you, it's not for you, it's for them.
everybody's being used. Everybody's being. I'm gonna say it again. Everybody's being used by somebody for something. Not
I'd
in
rather be the people that love me and I love them. We have a mutual relationship.
fair, but everybody's being used though.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what facet of life it is, everybody's being used for something. It's just the intent and the motivation behind the usage
Mm.
is where it gets fuzzy for certain people. Are you being used for good, bad? Is this person using you for good, bad, in between?
Mm.
That's where it gets, as the people say, toxic. When I'm going to use you for this, that, and that, and that, and it's with malicious intent. That's where it gets shaky.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand that from that perspective, of course. But everybody's getting used, regardless. So there's no need for people to be mad about it. Just use it and move on, just like a hoe. Use it
I'm weak.
and move on. It's nothing different between it.
But I think part of that is those the connections, the users or whatever like that thrive. That's how they made it. It's not that I know everyone uses people, but using people is how they made it. So it's like that's a part of there's an MO. So when and it just so happens that those are also the type of people who discriminate and do that little shit where they don't touch the janitors are hot lava and we're when we're going up the elevator.
I believe we all discriminate a little bit, but some people do it more maliciously than others. I get that. I understand.
So I guess hey, look, I guess I can't control. I do what I do and they do what they do.
Yeah, for sure.
But
But that's a
who
mindset.
do I connect more with? Ask me.
Who do you connect with?
The ones that are extremely intelligent because they don't care anything about black white. They don't care anything until you fuck their bitch. They don't care anything about black white caramel. You could be anything as long as you don't approach them with some bullshit. It's all good. They'll teach you anything you want to know. They don't mind telling you anything you want to know. But if you the people who got there from ridiculous hard work, they can't. They don't have time. But it's okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because I consider myself in one of those categories. I mean, shit. I'm not super intelligent. I'm not. You know, I'm not super resourceful. I got there. I didn't get there off of those things. So I'll put myself in that category. But people I connect more with, and the people who are more like generally accepting, they don't. They only see the problem they're trying to solve. They don't see if you're black, white. So that
Who has the most value?
hmm?
Who has the most value? No,
In different situations, it depends.
I'm just saying that's what they're looking for. Whoever has
Oh
the most,
yeah, you're right.
who has the most value. I think that's what everybody's looking for in a sense. Who's going to offer the most value? Who's the most interesting?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to help their case. and hopefully it's a help both ways because we're all offering a time and a service for somebody or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, is it going to be helpful in both ways? Are you really being used for bad or good?
Right. Yeah.
Is there the intentions, the purpose of the cause? Are you working for free, or you're not working for free, you're working for your time. However, you still want to get compensated regardless.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is the toxic. The workplace is a perfect place for toxicness to thrive. That's working in money and success. That's a perfect place for toxicness to thrive. So the more, the farther up you go, the struggle is when you're poor. The struggle is I don't know where my next meal come from. The further you go up, the struggle is who the fuck am I? Who the fuck am I anymore?
Same person you was when you didn't have that bread. You just gotta remember that.
Yeah,
Same,
you are deep down, but
same person. You just gotta remember that. You're developing into something different, yeah, because you can afford to be different. But you're still the same person you were when you didn't have that.
but I'm just saying when you get more money, you realize that there's something wrong with you start realize there's things is wrong with us. We are it's I mean shit. When your worry is when I'm getting my next meal, it's almost simpler. Like that's almost a simpler worry. When you get to where it was like, man, hey, I can't be alone. I don't know how to not be accepted. Like you know what I'm saying? You start learning those things. Those things are like made you who you are. So it's like, how can you fix that? Do you fix yourself and become, who knows, if you take that away, will you take your greatness away? But I notice that's only because it's it's because not a lot of people get the privilege of doing what they love and make a lot of money. A lot of people can do what they love and just that for recreation and they don't get paid a lot, so they're able to keep their self. But when you put it over here and it's like stress, stress, stress. I'm doing what I do what I mean, I do what I'm trained to do. I don't necessarily love it, but it's more profitable. And then I'm doing something I love that isn't profitable. But if I were, or if a lot of people were doing what they love to do, and they were getting paid like they love to get paid, then this wouldn't be an issue. Like it wouldn't be toxic. It wouldn't be as toxic.
So what makes people settle? Obviously, besides the, oh, I'm getting paid more here, yeah, but what? Why do
Fear.
people end up settling for? Hey, I'm gonna do what I hate, but I'm getting paid more. Or I'm gonna do what I hate because it makes me live. When does the I'm living off of my doing what I hate? When does that stop?
Dre, this is the bitch shit. The like the imaginary like switch bitch shit. They tell you if you're a bitch if you don't do what you hate. It
Excuse
makes
me.
more money. Well, yeah, if it makes more money, then you're a bitch.
There's
If you choose the thing that makes more money.
there's a time period. There's a time period where you do what you hate for the income. If you need to have that time period.
Dre, there's niggas out there that say you do what you hate, and I almost believe this for Lou. You just do what you hate to support like the people around you, and you do that for your whole life. And you never get any fulfillment in life.
That is miserable. The people who live like that are miserable. That's why they always say money can't buy you happiness. That's a fact. Nobody wants to believe
And
that.
Dre, if you don't believe that, you're a bitch.
That's the only time. Even though I'll consider, all right, if that's the case, well, if that's what being a bitch, it's you. You, I guess I'm a bitch, but I know I'm not a bitch. But in your fucked up ass mindset, all right, bitch, you have it then. All right,
Right. And we
that's
don't know what's
crazy.
going on because this is coming from people we look up to. So we think that's right. And it's not. It's so much easier to get into to get like people think, oh, it's impossible. No, it's not impossible to do the thing you love and get paid for it. One, you have to eliminate the fear of leaving, or just like really you're not going. You're always going to go up. Let me tell this people this now. If you're getting paid a salary and you leave that job on good terms, once you go to your next job venture, they have to pay you either that or more, because they're not going to get your they're under the impression that you're not going to give them your service if they pay you less than you've been paid before. So they're rarely going to pay you lower than you did at your last job. So you don't have to be fearful of that. And the intelligent people at work will tell you that. Because they see the world differently. That some things that we would blame on race, it might not even be about race at the end of the day. Like it might just be like the way we were trained to think. But you have to be willing to look for. You have to look, because it's things that come to you are going to be random. Like maybe you get something you like, and maybe someone hits you up. No, you have to go after it. You have to go after the one thing you want, and then
Everything else will come once you start putting in the work and going after it. If you sitting at home fiddling with your toes all day, you're not gonna get it. If you're sitting at home biting on on your fingernails, you're not. It's not gonna happen. If
all
you're
right.
sitting at home thinking someone's going to find you, no one's going to find you. No one is going to find you because you're great. Get that out of your head right now. No
I've been
one
looking
will
everywhere for you,
find you.
nigga.
That's
Helicopters and shit. You haven't seen us?
that's not how it works. All the people who said, "Oh, I was great, so they just found me," they are lying to you. All of them. All of them that say, "Oh, these rappers, this company found me," they are lying to you.
It's one out of it's probably one out of 200,000, maybe even more.
Even if it's that small percentage, they didn't just find them either. Something happened, something they did, somebody they know made a connection either a year, 2 years, a month, or a week ago that it ended up getting around to their information that says, hey, I may need you for I'm working on this, I may need you. Come through. Come to the office so we can work. No one is going to find you, so please get that out of your head. I don't care how great you are. They ain't gonna find you unless you make yourself findable.
And from what I've heard, I've listened to a few things like the mindset of like a label. What do you like a label recruiter? They're not even looking. Some of them not even care about your lyrics. They just care if you have enough people following you,
You have
so
enough
that when they buy
influence.
you, they buy all your followers.
Yep.
So you having the hottest freestyle really doesn't matter in a sense. So it's like the system isn't even made for you to make good music. It's just made for you to be popular.
It's always been about who can be a star. It's never been about the talent. Sorry. 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 It's just what it is. All it's been about who can be made a star. Y'all see the R&B singers who couldn't sing? It's not always been about who's a great writer or singer. Who can be a star? When you have that much money to give to people and loan out to people, I would want to get stars too.
Yeah. I mean, they have to
Who
think of their business, or they could,
exactly?
yeah.
Who wants to get a non-star? Nobody. Nobody. So you have to have enough and have the mindset to think they're not going to find me based off of my talent alone. Do I have stuff available out there? Nowadays we have social media. So we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, wherever platform is best for you, TikTok, whatever platform is best for you to get yourself out there, use it, be consistent, find out what you need to post, how much you need to post it. Whatever gets the most views, you post that. Some I had to get around. Some I still have to get around to doing because I don't all the way like what I get the most views for. But I'll talk about that another day. But whatever you get the most views for, that's what you keep posting, and then have variants in between there as well, because that's what's giving people that watch and listen to you the most value. And then eventually, someone may come across and need you for your services. They didn't find you, you made yourself available, and now they see you. Because it's millions of other people doing the same exact thing you're doing. What makes you stand out?
If you have 100,000, if you have like 100,000 followers on Instagram, Vine, TikTok, um, what other things?
Twitter,
Twitter,
Snapchat,
Snapchat.
Facebook.
Then I think you have an opportunity to either, can I sell these motherfuckers music myself, or do I say, hey, look, Kanye West, I have 200,000 people that like my rap page, or hey, Gordon Ramsay, 100,000 people are willing to watch me cook. Can I be an Iron Chef?
I wouldn't go to Kanye West about anything music right now, but unless Kanye West gives the call to my direction, then all right. But I wouldn't selectively try to go to Kanye West because I see how he does business. I don't like it musically anyway.
But Drake is a snake too, so him being a snake
All
to a
of
snake,
them,
it cancels out.
most of them are snakes as well. It's the industry. What do you expect? It's a dog eat dog industry, like many others. If you don't have that mindset, you're not gonna make it, or you're not gonna last. That's why you get one hit wonders. That's why you get one hit singles.
Mm.
That's why you only get one album sometimes. They don't. It's not that they couldn't. It's just they don't want to have to quote unquote bend over just to get their next album out,
Hmm.
and they don't want to have to snake anybody just to get their music out there.
Right.
So they get a new budget. So it is what it is, man.
And
At
they're
the
doing
end
what
of
they
the day.
love, yet it's still toxic. Work in general, if being success in general is toxic. Like a lot, some of the girls that have come up to me at my job, or I've met from the job, like I just noticed, like you said, some of the reason why they're there is because they they have a certain mentality, and when you think about dating someone like that, they've achieved early, so it's like not only are their standards ridiculously high when they approach you, it's like they approach you as if this a job interview, like they're like the you know, like, oh, so no, give me a Birkin bag. I'm like, okay. Oh, give me a Ferrari. I'm like, oh, wow. No, I can't afford a Ferrari. I can't afford. So number one, you're not getting it from me. And number two, I want someone who likes me for me. Like, what the? And then some people are okay with that. Some people like, oh, that's why I did this, so I could have this. Like I never had it, so I don't care if it's because of the things I have. That's cool for me. It's not cool for me because I came from the South. You know, we came from the gutter. We came from the. So I feel like, look, if you like me from the gutter, like, and girls are dating me, I didn't appreciate them enough. Because if you go out there and try to date someone like that, you gonna be single.
That's why you don't date them. You just stick them and leave.
Oh,
Just saying, you just stick 'em.
I'm willing to shit. Like I'm willing to drop a bag on you if we're really, if it's if it just so happens, we're together and we're like truly like each other for each other. I have no problem whatsoever. Like just get to know me, I'm gonna get to know you, and it's when I say you never know when they're a snake, it's actually easier than I thought it would be. It's real.
I told you.
because
He was like, "Nah, bro, it's gonna take a long." I'm like, all right, it's really like just in the first couple days or a week. I'm telling you, it's like, no, all right, well,
it's real easy. So, you know, and these people are really beautiful. So sometimes it's hard to,
what does that mean?
huh?
What does that mean? Just say they can look good. That don't mean they
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
Okay, yeah, I got you. I got you. So that really nice face, figure, whatever you talk about. But I mean,
FFA's face figure and ass.
FFA with all capital letters. I mean, shit. So sometimes it's gonna be hard to say no, and you might not, and they might be not the typical girls that come up to you. So it's like it's gonna be a different level, but you're gonna be able to see it. It's just are you gonna ignore it or not? Because it's easy. Sometimes it's easy to be like, yeah, yeah, whatever, and they turn around. I'm like, oh shit.
Turn around.
Or sometimes, bro, they know how to talk to you to where it's like y'all connect instantly.
Seduction conversation, yeah.
But then you have to remember that they're in sales. So if they didn't have that, they wouldn't be where they are.
Exactly.
I was like, wow. But some people I know that are there, they just have that talent, and it's genuine. It's just who they are, and it's great. I know there are a few people there that are like that, and
Shout out to the 1%.
you know what? I would say it's 4%.
I'm sticking with one.
But you know what? They're already dating. That's the killer.
Exactly. The ones
So
that are good are usually already caught or don't have time to be caught, allegedly.
right. And then there's also that though out of that 4%, there's a 1% where there's no one good enough. Or I've been treated so badly, I'm just gonna be with a girl, or either be single or be with girls.
Yep. The damaged goods. There are sections of damaged goods. We'll get into that later, but yeah, damaged goods, unfortunately.
And let's talk about the males that are toxic too. Let's keep it a band. They gonna if you talking about a snake, man, because it's because when you there, you're learning. You're always learning. So when you ask for knowledge, you expect that person to give you correct knowledge, right? You can't even do that. And some of these niggas will set you up for some shit, and they know that you're not gonna be able to get back at them because it's like you don't know the landscape yet. So what you gonna do? But yeah, it's all about learning. It's almost fun to a point. I don't know if that means I'm becoming toxic like them, but sometimes it's like okay, and you just learn from it. You become smarter. So to be Dre, I'm telling you right now, I don't know what's good for you or bad for you anymore. I don't. I don't fucking know because the toxic shit prepares you for fucking
You gotta have both, man. Gotta have both. Gotta have both. Gotta have the good and the bad. That's
gotta
because you
be
gotta know. You have to know what you're up against too. That's why you gotta know what both sides of the plane are. Cause you have to know what you're up against. And you know how to using it against you as well.
mm,
That's the most important thing about knowing the other side.
mm.
Know when it's being used against you.
Cause niggas ooh cause niggas will make you feel sorry for you, and that's getting you too. If they make you feel sorry for them, that gets you too because you thinking about them and their family. You got a family too.
Exactly. I can't feel sorry for none of y'all. I don't apologize for it.
You feel me? So and some of them can. That's how they move. That's their mo. That's how they got to where they're at. They know how to do that. So it's like,
Hey, look, if
do
you
I?
messing up and you want me to feel sorry for you, don't. Cause I'm not. I'm not. You
You
can't pay
can't.
me enough.
You can't, bro, because
I can't afford to be sorry for you. I can't. I don't have the time or the patience or the money for it. You got 1.5 day, if that. Depends on what my week is. You have 1.5 day,
Mm.
and that's only if you're close to me. That's only if you're close to me. After that, every other day we just talking about the same stuff and same cycles, and you not growing, I may not be able to mess with you no more. That's just what it is.
Mm.
I went from friend to associate that fast because you on that BS. I'm not your friend. I'm not your brother. I'm not none of that. I'm not your compadre. I'm not none of that. If you want me to feel sorry for you, this includes women too. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's just all now. And I've been I've been caught on everything, bro. I've been caught on everything. To feel sorry for him, and then you start to feel sorry for him, and then you just learn from that. Now it's like, yo, that's no matter how sad it sounds, like, bro, that's a lesson you had to learn. Someone put that lesson in front of you. That's not what you want me to do. Like, God gave you that third leg. You know what I'm saying? God gave you 4 ears. That's something He wanted you to deal with. He wanted you to be overcome. I got shit too. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
no
like,
one's perfect, man. No one is perfect. No one ever will be perfect. So stop trying to be. There's goods and bads everywhere. So it is what it is, man.
mhm.
If you sad, depressed, get over it. It's gonna take a second, but you'll be alright.
Just that's okay to feel. It's okay to feel sad. Don't run from it. Just embrace whatever happened, and then you always get stronger. You know what? You always get stronger. If you run from it, you get weaker. This is a good analogy that I feel. I feel is a good analogy. If you run from everything, you, have you ever seen runners like long distance runners? Frail, very weak, very fragile.
Mm.
But look at the pit bulls of the world that stand there fearless and just stay where they're at, and they have to use their strength, mental strength, or whatever you want to call it. They get bigger, they get stronger, they move the fuck on
Look at the sprinters. They do one lap or four and they stop.
and turn around and say, "Hey, look," or run to you. Say, "Hey, look, if something's going down, let's do it now." So yeah, man. You gotta go straight into that hurt because in the center of that hurt was a lesson. If you don't learn it, you're gonna end up getting hurt again. That's a perfect with dating because shit, you know how, you feel me, when shit ends and it's really hard, and then you just sulk in that, but just embrace it and just think of like, okay, this happened. How can I not let it happen again? Was it my fault? Was it her fault? Was it both our faults?
To all my younger fellas out there growing up in the game nowadays, if you're nervous to talk to that girl, don't. Trial and error is how you gonna learn. Trial and error. That's how you learn most things in life. Trial and error. Wise people learn from their own mistakes. Smart people learn from others.
Mm.
Trial and error. Trust me. That's all you got to do. It's gonna feel weird. You're gonna get nervous. That's fine. That means you care. But
Right, right,
that don't mean you stop. You got to keep going with your successes and L's. You just got to keep going. Don't stop trying.
right. And most of the times you'll grow into it.
But don't keep pestering the one beforehand because you didn't get it.
Right, right, right.
It's a lot of them out there. Trust me. You'll be all right. A lot of them out there. You'll be fine.
Right.
Even if they got a boyfriend, it don't matter. I don't suggest you do anything with that woman, but, or girl in that case, but there's a lot of them out there.
Mhm.
It may be that one on your mind, but it's still a lot more out there, bro.
And think about it, bro. Think about that girl you liked in second grade. You really liked her then. You don't even know her name now. I mean, time heals all, man. And who's to say that person won't, because life is a bitch. Life is a bitch. Remember the girls that we really thought was really attractive in high school, and now they're like, you know what I'm saying?
Now, some of them ugly, some of them got thick, some of them look kind of bad now.
Then some of the jocks that at our school too that we all looked up to, now they're like eating 1,000 cookies a day.
And them niggas broke. Niggas don't get no more bitches. Baby mama drama, all that other shit. Yeah.
So man, don't worry about it. Look, Elon, you think Elon Musk was pulling bitches in college? You think he was getting all the bitches? The one nigga was holding the telescope and looking at a globe and shit. He wasn't getting bitches, but now he grew into he grew into his success. He grew into it. So you got to give yourself a chance to grow. You know that time is your ultimate. Just make the only thing you have to really do is keep on trying and make sure you're healthy, and you'll get it. You'll probably get anything you want. If you stop trying, you start trying to be healthy, it's a wrap for you.
Yeah, you might be on my 600 pound life, man. You ain't gotta do all that. You don't have to do all that. So, any final things you wanna leave the people with?
Um, try to be a respectable person. That's my thing. Just be a respectable person. Notice I didn't say a good person. Because that is trying to be a good person is almost a flaw within itself. Because it's hard to know what's good and bad. Just try to be respectable. Just do unto others as you have do unto you. That's all you got to do. If you know, try to stop with all this pride shit. This pride shit has not gotten us anywhere. Pride has held us back, in fact. Just when stuff happens, own up to it and just move on. When someone comes to you for advice, give them on advice and move on. Don't be like, if I give him this advice, he's gonna be better and is gonna be better than me. No, it's not about that. Give honest advice, move the fuck on.
Last thing. Last thing to leave the people with, man. Life is simple, but it's not easy. This thing you have is the answers to your problems are very simple. And successes as well. But the process of achieving and countering those are never going to be easy. Yeah. Just like when I was younger, I always used to say, I think back when I was younger and say, if I faced better competition in basketball, I could probably have made the league. But at the end of the day, I'm still only 6'1". Even with that, do I get there? But that doesn't mean I can't make money off doing something I love to do and still have love for playing and being involved in basketball. You know, when you love and enjoy something, that even on a hiatus, somebody hit you up with a late notice and say, hey, you want to go do this? You say, why not? That means you still have enjoyment and love for something, even if you fell out of it for a while. When you get a call for about 30 in less than 30 minutes until it happens and say, you want to go ahead and do that? All right. Let's get it.
And it's 20 to 30 minutes away. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. With that being said, this is the 2.5 LLCs podcast, episode 50, part number 3. We have merch, so if you need merch from us, please hit us up in the description. We're reworking the website right now, so we're getting things squared away. Once that gets worked out, we will have the store officially up for y'all to purchase. My name is Dre. This is Zo. Our ats will be around our faces in the description. Like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to hear this show at. We appreciate you. We always will. And thank you all for getting us to where we've been so far, and going to bigger, better places in the future. You are who you're around, and your network is your network. Don't be afraid to network, but also do stuff with the connections you have and you built. This is the 2.5 LLCs podcast. We're out of here. Peace.